It's time for another power-packed episode of Headspace with Dr. Mike. Each week, Dr. Mike is committed to addressing real-life, sometimes polarizing and controversial issues while offering practical and informed insight. Listen in as we discuss hot topics that matter to us and the communities we live in.
Good morning, Headspacers. What's happening? We are in the studio today. Oh, it's so good to see your smiling faces. What's up, Christy?
Good morning. Happy to be back, fam.
Yes. And how about you, Mitchell? What's up with you, brother?
What it do, y'all? I'm just excited to be here. I just thank God to be here.
I know that's right. Well, we want to give a shout out, first of all, to our family at Elevation Global Media. Thank you so much just for your continued support and love. Got to give a shout out to those of you who are tuning in here on Saturday. We broadcast on Saturdays from 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. Eastern Time. In a couple of weeks, we're going to be doing Eastern Standard Time, not Eastern Daylight Time. And I feel like this is like one of the last times we're going to be saying that, right? I think the next time we switch,
I pray so.
I don't know. I kind of like the switch, but that's a conversation for a different day. Thank you so much for those of you who are tuning in via our podcast. Most podcasts, platforms, as soon as the show finishes our live broadcast, we go ahead and we post that puppy out there so we can get it out to the world. And we literally are touching every continent except for Antarctica. And I just think because they don't have good cell service in Antarctica, that's why they're not doing it.
Yeah.
So Mama is in the house. We can get started, y'all. My mama is in the house. Good morning. Let's get after it, y'all. How y'all feeling? Y'all feeling good?
Yeah, I'm doing all right.
I feel good. I feel good. Oh yes, I do.
Mike.
It's like him to break out selection.
That makes me feel good.
Mike, we want to retain our listeners.
Christy, I kept it in tune.
You did.
Okay, we'll give you that one. You did. We'll give you that one. You did.
What we got going on? Because we got a lot, y'all. We got so much that we just need to just. I think you know what. We just might as well get out of the way. Petty politics.
Oh God.
What is going on?
Well, let's start with the most important thing.
Okay.
Which is the upcoming election.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if you're tuning in Maryland, then I want to let you know, those who don't know, that our election is coming up. General election is coming up on Tuesday, November the 8th. So it's very important that you get out there to vote. Please vote. This is not a pitch to vote one way or the other. We would never do that on the Dr. Mike Headspace show. But we certainly are encouraging you and just, strongly suggesting that you vote. We need you to vote on Tuesday, November the 8th. Big things are on the ballot. Even though this is not a presidential election, to me, this is more, I think that these elections are more important than the presidential because these are the ones that really shape what happens over the next 2 to 4 to 8 to 20 years, right? So very important that we get out there and vote.
Midterm elections, you're right. And it's not just Maryland. It's all 50 states. That's what I love about Super Tuesday. Everybody is voting everywhere about everything.
Yes.
We got to elect the representatives. There's this constant look at some key races that may flip the Senate, that may flip the House of Representatives. There's some key legislation out there. I know for us in Maryland, marijuana is on the ballot, legalization of marijuana. I know in some states the whether or not to decriminalize abortion rights are on the ballot. Gubernatorial, we may very well here in Maryland elect the first Black governor.
Yeah, that's huge.
That's big. That's big.
Yeah, that's huge. And here's the thing, like we said, we try to be apolitical. However, that is exciting because he's not, in my opinion, if he gets elected, Westmore gets elected, it is not because he was black, but because he was qualified for the job. And I think that's important.
I agree with that. And I'll say this, that it hasn't, like him being black, and this might be a lot attributed to Obama, becoming president and all that, and just things starting very slowly shifting in the political arena. But I haven't even heard like that whole he'll be the first black governor of Maryland. Like that hasn't even been a thing.
Nope.
Like nobody's even really considering that is very historic, and it's a wonderful thing if it were to happen. But it hasn't been a part of his campaign.
Did I ever tell y'all the story about when I was in the second grade? I will never forget. My teacher in the second grade asked us what we wanted to be when we grew up, and I said I want to be the president of the United States, and she told me, "Baby, that will never happen." And I'll never forget that. And I remember actually I feel like I talked to my mom about it, and she was like, "Yeah, that's kind of true." Like, because the idea back then of a black man becoming the president of the United States was just unheard of. Like, it was one of those things that it just was unheard of. And now here we are in a situation where, Christy, our sons will never know the United States without a black man being able to be the president of the United States. And I think that's important. I think that's important to just see that there is representation. And it's not just about being a black man. We had a woman who almost became president. We have a woman vice president, not only just a woman, but a minority woman becoming the vice president. I was in the Treasury building the other day in our state, and there was a wall of all the state comptrollers, and they were all these white men. And we're in the position right now to have a non-white man as the treasurer,
comptroller.
And I mean, those things are important to really think about. And sometimes we talk about progress, and while sometimes it doesn't happen as fast as we would like to see, I am encouraged to see that we're normalizing our country looking like
what it is.
We are, and I think that's important. I just think that's important. Yes, Mason. Mason agrees with that.
So elections are important. Elections have consequences. And speaking of some of the consequences of elections, Steve Bannon is a consequence.
Clank.
He is a consequence. Yes. Well, finally, somebody's going to jail.
Clank.
Yes. 4 months, right?
Clank.
Mason agrees. 4 months for Steve Bannon. So what do we feel like? What do we feel about that, fellas?
Y'all, I mean, can we just talk about for the minute that, like, there is such a thing as treason. There is such a thing as, like, speaking against your country and not representing your country well, and doing some things that just is anti-American, and that's a crime, and you should go to jail for things like that. That's just my opinion.
The only thought I had while seeing that was, you about to lose your job. You about to lose your job. Because at this point, like, they caught him. I don't know what he expected them to do when this whole thing went down. I don't know what they expected him to do, but I'm pretty sure it's the opposite of this. But either way, clink, you gone, bro.
I don't take it for granted that this happened, because we have seen many times certain people of certain privilege and certain status will do things that are blatantly illegal and get away with it. And we see this happening right now. I'm not even going to bring up this person's name because I'm just not going to discuss him. But, blatantly violating the law, blatantly violating just humanity, and continue to get away with it. So I don't take it for granted that he's actually getting some time. I don't know what, if anything, he'll be able to do to weasel his way out of this 4 months. He'll probably only serve like 6 weeks. But I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful for something.
So is Mason.
Yeah.
So speaking of being grateful, we were grateful for the student loan forgiveness.
Oh God.
That was one thing we were going to sit down at the Thanksgiving table and give God thanks for. But it's looking like it's a little hiccup.
Yeah, it's a little hiccup.
Not going to be an easy road to this student loan forgiveness. So we got a what is it? An appeal.
Yeah, so it sounds to me like one of the Court of Appeals in Florida, surprise, surprise,
right,
basically said, wait a minute, there are a number of contests out there in court, and so their thing was because I think what happened was the Biden administration was saying as early as this Sunday, like tomorrow, they were going to start the process of like forgiving loans. And so basically they were saying, you know what, that's not right. We at least need to let these things play out in court. I guess if I wasn't on the other side of it, I guess I can actually understand that because, let's just say they do decide. I mean, it makes it all the way to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court does say that this is truly unconstitutional. Then it would be a bigger hangup because then what they got to do is they got to reconfigure all of it. So I as much as I hate to see it, I don't necessarily know that it's a bad thing. Because I think it would be more of a hang up down the road. If you know what I'm saying, like if all of a sudden they start forgiving it and banning like psych, and then all of a sudden people's accounts have to be changed and all that stuff, I do think it could be a little bit of a, as much as I hate to say it, like I do think that it's probably best that it plays out in court. I do think it sucks that I do think the strategy is just this, is to delay it. And I wouldn't be surprised if the idea is to delay it long enough so that even if it doesn't make it to the courts, then what happens is if by chance the House does flip or the Senate flips, then they can actually put some law in to decriminalize the whole idea and all this other stuff. I do think that kind of just sucks.
But the thought I had about it, Michael, I thought about it from the other angle. Like this could be a tool even for the Democrats, because this could be motivation to be like, listen, if we stay in power, then we can get this thing going, keep it going and get it through. But if we go the other way, it's guaranteed to fail. So I could see it being a political, chess piece for either side.
I don't know though, because we have Democrats who aren't really they don't like it. Like there are Democrats who don't think there's Democrats who don't think it's enough money, right? Because you got your real ultra liberal ones, real progressive ones who are just like, it's not enough money. I think even the NAACP said that it was just a kick in the bucket. So they're not unified in it anyway. I think that they've been quiet about it just because, it is what it is. I don't know. I think it would backfire on us, on the Democrats.
We shall see.
What you think, Mitchell?
I think this probably is best. I think I'm along the lines with you, Dr. Mike. I think this is best if you can play it out in court. As interesting as it's gonna be, this is probably best to just play out in court. And to be fair, we're also not surprised that Florida is essentially the court. We're not that surprised. But at this current point, we're not surprised.
Yeah. Well, I just what I will say is that they did say keep on doing those applications. The application is real easy. Matter of fact, I think I sent it, Christy. I think I sent it to you when I was getting ready to take off to Spokane, and I said just do it. Like get it done right now. Like don't wait, because it was real easy. Like it literally took me.
And I did.
Because it was that easy. And if by chance they're going to drop some of that stuff, trust me, I have so much more that they can deal with. But if it can help alleviate some issues, I'm all for it. So anyway, we shall see how this plays out. And I don't know. Let's take a quick break and pay a bill. 2020 gave birth to a lot of endeavors. Here in 2021, everyone has had to get in touch with their inner producer. Our man Garrett Brace is one of those guys you need on your team. We at Headspace with Dr. Mike are clients of his, as he ensures all of our audio files are crisp, clean, and cool. If you have any audio, video, and even lighting needs, hit him up. at GWalt Services on Instagram. Remember, GWalt Services, servicing all your audio, video, and lighting needs. So if you hang out with me enough, you know that I love to travel. Matter of fact, one of the biggest issues that I had with the whole pandemic was the fact that I didn't get to travel. And, you know, it was okay because I didn't really want to have to deal with getting COVID and also having to deal with, you know, the possibility of my family getting COVID as a result of me traveling. But now that travel season has come back, I actually had the opportunity over this past week. Matter of fact, a week ago today, I was actually en route to Spokane, Washington, for a conference, AFSA, Public Service, Human Services Association, National Staff Development Training Association, and it was incredible. I got to present a couple of times there, and it was just really nice just to get out and hang out with colleagues from all over the country who are like-minded and that sort of thing. But you know, whenever you're going for a flight, if you ever take a flight, one of the things you will hear the flight attendant say is, "We are preparing for takeoff." And preparing for takeoff, while there are many things that are happening in the cockpit, the pilot is doing what they're doing. In the cabin, what they're doing is they're basically getting things in preparation for the actual flight, right? What the cabin crew is doing is they're locking up all the containers that have all the drinks and the supplies that they need for the flight. They're making sure that all of our seats are in an upright and locked position because you know, if something goes wrong during the takeoff, we need to be able to get out or whatever to have you quickly. Make sure our bags are stowed neatly where they need to be. Straps aren't keeping us. So if by chance we have to do evacuation real quick, we're not tripping over the straps of our bags. All of those things are necessary in order just to lift off. And as I was listening to them talk about we need to prepare for takeoff, the other piece of takeoff is making sure you have what you need with you in order. Like for me, I have my iPad and I have my headphones. I have whatever little snacks I may have with me. I have all of those things situated so that when it's time for us to take off, I don't have to move around because the seatbelt light may still be on and that sort of thing. And as I was thinking about that, I was thinking about the fact that many of us have been in a situation where we're waiting for our takeoff, right? There's a destination that we're trying to get to. There is somewhere we're trying to get to. And the question is, have you prepared for that takeoff? Like for me, I know that I prepare in advance for it. I have my iPad where it needs to be. I have my headphones where they need to be. If I bring some water or Gatorade or something like that, I have those where they need to be so that as I'm in transit to where I'm trying to go, I have everything that I need. My question to you all is, are you prepared for takeoff? Like you say that you want to do this, you say that you want to do that, but my question is, are you even ready to go off on those things? Like, you know, I always talk about this and I always find this fascinating that Oprah Winfrey had something called Favorite Things. And she does this around the holiday. Let's talk about the holidays. And what she had was Oprah Favorite Things. And one of the conversations that her people always had to have with the people that she was going to feature was, are you truly ready for what's about to happen to your life? And, you know, some people are like, oh my gosh, yes, I get to be on Oprah. She's like, no, you don't understand. As soon as I put my stamp on you and your product, your business is going to go far beyond what you even imagine, just because Oprah's name was attached to it. And that may sound kind of funny and like actually in kind of in many ways that may seem a little bit crazy. We all know that if Oprah let me tell you something. If Oprah said Headspace with Dr. Mike is one of the best shows out there, let me tell you something. I would pass out. But then on top of that, I would be very grateful because of the amount of people that are going to come and listen to it simply because Oprah said so. But she said, look, if you're not ready for it, if your sales can't handle it, if your website is not built where it needs to be, if you don't really have product on hand to give people what they need to get, then you know what? Maybe this is not your time. Dr. Mike, what are you saying? What I'm saying to you is you really need to spend some time, first of all, talking to the Lord, talking to your support network, talking to your team, and really saying, you know what? If I were to do this, am I really ready to be able to give this 100%? One of the things I always tell people is You cannot expect the results if you don't play 100%. If you don't play 100%, you cannot expect the results. And what that means is basically, look, I may want this for you, but if you're not willing to put the skin in the game, if you're not willing to put the time in, if you're not willing to put the effort in, then guess what? You're not going to expect these results, this breakthrough, this transformation that you're trying to get in your career, in your life, in your products, in whatever it is that you're trying to do. You can't expect those results if you didn't play 100%. And it starts with preparing for launch. It starts with that. Maybe there's some education that you still need to get. Maybe there's some people that you need to still get in your network. Maybe there is some mindset shifting that you have to do. Maybe there is some relationships that you got to fix or actually get yourself out of. There's some people that need to be taken out of your cell phones. And I'm not saying that you need to ignore them, but what I am saying is that there's some folk that, guess what? They're not trying to do what it is I'm trying to do. And you're busy walking around trying to get these things done. And you have these people holding you down as a weight. Are you ready for takeoff? What types of things are you preparing for? Are you asking the Lord that the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be acceptable in your sight, O Lord, my strength and my redeemer? Because sometimes we get these advances and then we forget from where we came from. Those are the conversations that you got to start having and figuring out what that looks like. Are you truly ready for takeoff? Are you ready? Are you in a position that when this thing pops off, you got to get ready? And on that note, this is my heads up.
Follow the Headspace with Dr. Mike show on all social media platforms at Headspace DM. We want to keep you up to date on all of our hot topics and keep the dialogue going even after the show. We also value what's important to you and your community. DM your show ideas to us on Instagram or Facebook. The next time you log on, you may hear Dr. Mike discussing the very topic or issue close to your heart.
I had an amen corner in the Kobe, what's up, brother? So it's me. I can't blame it on everyone else. No, you need to get ready. You gotta get ready. Are you getting ready?
You felt your help on that, didn't you?
Yeah, you know what I did. I felt
he started screaming at us.
You felt your help on that, didn't you?
I felt that in my shot.
Y'all should see me when Dr. Mike does his heads up. Y'all should see me backstage like hyping him. Y'all should literally see me backstage like hyping. It's powerful. I promise y'all it's powerful.
Oh my gosh, everybody needs a hype squad, and I definitely have one. So Christy.
Yes.
Oh, now we got a couple other things we got to talk about.
Yeah, so we're gonna move into just some happenings in entertainment and otherwise. I'm not sure how many of our listeners are familiar with Daniel Smith, but learned that Daniel Smith was one of the last Americans who was born to a slave here in the U.S. And unfortunately, he passed. I think he was 90 and some change. I forgot his actual age, but he passed away. And
whoa! Time out. So 90-something years ago, there was still a slave, or were they like ex-slaves?
The parent was a slave, so I can't say if they were ex-slaves.
They had been a slave at some point.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's pretty impactful, just to know that there was still somebody alive who had a parent who was a slave.
Yeah.
Because it seems so distant yet so close. It's one of those things.
Yeah.
Yeah. It wasn't that long ago, but it was.
Oh my gosh, that's kind of humbling, like to really think about that. Like it really.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
And also, what does that say about how the story of slavery, the reality of that it was, the impact that it had? What does that, as we transition to the people who were, I'll say directly, I use that word loosely, directly impacted by it, like how move further and further away from those people being in our, environment with us.
Yeah.
How does that impact the story that's told and the relevance of it and the impact of it? Just something to think about.
That is something to think about, and I think that I'm going to say this now. That's something that I want us to pay attention to. We pay attention to it all the time, but I really want to be intentional. I'm giving some time to it now. I want to really be intentional about that when we get into February and we have these conversations about Black History Month. Like I really want to talk about that. Like I really think it's important that we kind of not only for the other cultures to kind of hear this, but for our own, because I do think that sometimes our own culture kind of forgets. It doesn't, they don't realize whose backs that we ride on, right? I think that's something that's important. Speaking of which, Kanye West, what are we gonna do with him, y'all? What are we gonna do with him?
Are we as fed up with him as we are with
with who?
Never mind.
No, you can't. Now you just said something. With who?
Are we as fed up? Are we as fed up with him as some of us are with Kim Burrell? Are we as fed up? Is it an equal level of just being?
I don't think it's equal. I don't put two and two together. I mean, she's her own other stuff too, but yeah, I don't think so. But maybe your generation is. Maybe that may be what it is.
I'm gonna tell you the difference. If you're gonna put them on equal grounding, which I don't necessarily do, the difference is Kanye. Obviously, we know he has a mental health issue that he is not being treated for, not taking medicine for. I don't know what the situation is. I'm not excusing or condoning his behavior and what he says out of his mouth or out of his fingers. But we know that
Kanye may have that. What is Candace? What's her name's?
Candace Owens?
What's her thing? Because I mean, they've linked up.
Yeah, scary combination. That's a scary merger there.
That's weird there.
Let me just say this. Go ahead.
I want to know how Kanye goes from, because we were good for a point. How does Kanye go from releasing actually pretty decent choir?
That CD. We did a couple of those numbers doing some of our church productions, like some of the stuff. He is extremely talented. I don't think anybody wants to deny that. Like his talent is phenomenal. But just this extra commentary that he's been given on stuff, it's not making sense.
It's not. What did he say this time?
What didn't he say?
Oh, were you talking about the George Floyd? I'm sorry, y'all. Managing a 1-year-old.
Well, one of the latest things was that he basically said that George Floyd died from fentanyl overdose, and basically that it wasn't the cops. Yeah, it was that. And guess what? The family of George Floyd is suing his behind.
For how much?
They're going listen. Let me tell you something. They need to learn from what's his name? Alex Smith? Is it not
Alex Smith? Alex Smith with the people down Sandy Hook, yep.
Because your mouth reckless, and I'm coming for that wallet.
It'll cost you some money.
Your mouth gonna write you a check.
Your
expletive can't cash.
Your blessed assurance.
Your expletive can't cash.
Y'all are so churchy.
Cause we can't say it. But y'all know. Y'all done heard it before.
That's fine. We can't shut you up. That's fine. You just you're gonna pay our rent.
Right. you gonna pay us some rent.
More than rent.
Yeah.
I
just don't understand. Kanye, come on now. Come on, get it together, bro. Get it together. Just I don't know.
I would like
and my thing is it's okay to have an opinion about things, but even in that's not productive. Like my thing is I'm always trying to think of let's be forward progress, right? Forward progress. The courts have said of what happened with George Floyd. It's a done deal now. The court said it, right? That's just what it is. Just like you're gonna laugh at me when I say this. I don't relitigate OJ Simpson. Like I get it. Some people think he got off with murder. Look, the jury said he didn't do it, right? So at that point that's where I'm at, right? So my thing is let's not re-legislate it. I mean, litigated, right?
Yeah.
Like the court said what they said. This is where we're at. Let's move on. How productive is it to do that again? It's not productive.
Mm-hmm.
It's not productive. And Harriet Tubman may have shot you. Kanye. Yep, I said it.
Well, on that note, let's transition to someone.
Yeah, I said it. She may have shot you.
The moment of silence just said so much just now. Because everybody just went.
Yeah.
Okay.
Indeed. So Tom Brady. Let me start by saying I'm a Baltimore Ravens fan.
Absolutely.
So if there are two teams that you cannot stand as a Baltimore Ravens fan. Mm-hmm. One obviously is the Steelers.
Squealers.
The others is the Patriots, especially if the Patriots are linked to if Tom Brady's playing,
right?
Which he did for many, many years. So I've never been a fan of Tom Brady because of that. And not only just because we were rivals in some way, but because I just never liked the way he
carried himself.
Yeah, he's a crybaby on the field, whatever. But this situation with his soon-to-be ex-wife and dude, I'm in need. I read an article, a headline. I'm gonna be honest, it wasn't the article. I read a headline that said he likened. Oh, I gotta find it. He likened playing for the NFL to. Oh, I gotta find it. It was too good. Let me pull it up. Y'all discuss while I pull it up because I want to make sure I get this right.
Yeah, well, Tom Brady, lately, he retired and then he decided to come back. And now he's going to pay for it with his family. Like his family his wife is done with their marriage. She said, and I feel as if the ultimatum came out, look, it's either football or us. And he opted to go with football. So being a married man, what I will say is that we don't know the whole story. There's always other sides to the equation. And I think it's easy for me, not being a huge Tom Brady fan, to kind of vilify him. But I guess for me, I would now that they're bringing this out in the open, I would be curious as to what the other side of the story is, though.
Me too.
Like what else is going on?
Me too.
Because my thing is, is Giselle the kind of person that he wants to be in the house with? Like he tried to be in the house with her for 30 days and was like, yeah, I don't want this.
Listen, I can't find that article, and it's really bothering me. However, let me read the quote that I just pulled up. He said, no retirement in my future, he said on Thursday when pressed by reporters. Dude, give it up. This is the complete total definition of not knowing when to call it quits. Yo, you got to know when to hold them, when to fold them. Let it go.
I disagree with that, though. I get tired of hearing his name. Don't get me wrong. But, it's not like his performance has declined.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying the very opposite. I'm saying that exactly. It hasn't declined. So leave while you're on top, bruh.
Why? I don't. Why not? I don't agree with that.
So
because I feel like
completely suck.
Which
is what the Buccaneers are doing right now.
That's what he's doing. But still, he's still the GOAT.
He's still Tom Brady. Yeah. You can't replace his record. But I also feel like before he actually retires, I feel like he's gonna hand them a couple. I feel like they're gonna hand him a couple more rings before he retires.
A couple more.
They may hand him they may hand him a couple more.
Why are you trying to rob him of his blessing, Christy? Let the man.
Yeah, I know you're playing devil's advocate right now.
60 years old out there chugging a football, and he could do it at 60. Let that man win his Guinness Book of World Record. I'm just saying.
Okay. I know you're playing devil's advocate right now, so I'm gonna let you.
No, I'm not. Well, first, devil doesn't need an advocate. That's what our pastor said.
Oh Lord, come on.
He says that devil don't need an advocate. No, I don't agree with. I do. Now, here's the thing. I do get tired of hearing his name. I especially when he was winning everything. He ain't winning nothing now. his little temper tantrums make you laugh.
We're still hearing his name, and he ain't winning nothing.
But it's a non-factor now. It's almost like all right, bro, like you doing what you do. It's like to me, I like it when Dennis Rodman would like go and just dress up in punk rock outfits before a game. Like that's just what he does now, and it's a non-factor.
Okay, whatever you said. If it's a non-factor, we wouldn't be talking about him right now.
Christy is not having it. Christy is not having it right now.
And what y'all don't know is that Christy tells me on Marco Polo she likes it when we disagree, and then when we disagree, she ready to beat me.
Gives it up.
That's what I like about it. But let's move on to the next topic. So let's talk about Tyler Perry. I read
Tyler Perry said, "Yeah, Tyler." So I guess he had an audit or something. Was it an audit?
It was an audit. So yeah, there was an audit of Tyler Perry, his businesses, and all of that. And he had a team of accountants that were working on this audit, and they found that the IRS actually owed Tyler Perry $9 million. So Tyler Perry said, "Oh, really? Word? All y'all fired."
All fired. I agree.
All y'all fired.
I'm with that.
What in the world are y'all doing? That the IRS owes him $9 million.
I'm ready. You didn't give the government a tax-free loan, interest-free loan.
I can't believe that. Talk about incompetence.
But can we celebrate for a minute? Can we celebrate for a minute? Y'all be talking about Tyler in them wigs and the pseudo bad acting, and all that stuff, but his business is on the up and up. That the IRS owes him $9 million. That right there is I like that.
That's a satisfying black moment.
That really is.
That's a satisfying black moment.
That really is.
And also, y'all do talk about the wigs, but we're not going to acknowledge the fact that Jazzman's Blues was really, really good. Shameless plug. I just watched it last night. Go watch it. That's all I'm
Is it good? It's worth it.
It was good. To me, it was good.
Okay.
The ending, it will piss you off in a good way.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
All right. I appreciate that. I'm gonna go ahead.
But
I've heard you either like it or don't.
There's no gray area.
I hear.
I think the wig thing was really just a fall from grace because everything else was pretty good after that. I think the fall from grace had a few.
Oh, let me tell you something.
That was a fall more from grace. A fall from that.
That was. Y'all joke that man in them wigs. I'll never forget. I forget what movie that was, but if people would not let those wigs, they were pretty.
What about the movie with Shamar Moore and his what do you call him? What do you call him? Oh God.
We gonna have to move forward.
Cornrows.
Cornrows, yes.
Oh yeah, them was so bad.
The worst.
That was so bad.
Woo.
That was so
bad. To get firing that accounting team, you need to fire that hairstylist squad.
You need to fire his hair team. He's fired hair and makeup team. Y'all need to go.
But anyway,
was going to jail for that dog.
Go to break, Mike. Go to break.
Please.
Can't get there fast enough.
Our world is filled with polarizing topics that land most people on one side or the other. The Headspace with Dr. Mike team isn't afraid to take them on. Monthly, we will invite people on both sides of some of the most controversial topics, from the serious to the silly, to debate their positions. We look forward to charged discussions that will inform and entertain. DM your head-to-head show ideas to us on Instagram or Facebook at Headspace DM.
Wow. So Mason, it looks like he's enjoying this conversation now.
Yes,
he looked like he was about to come after me though. When me and his mom were having a conversation.
Oh no, he's good. He's always up for a lively debate. Trust me, we debate all the time.
So how is Mason doing with daycare?
So we had to switch daycares, and so it's coming along. It's definitely a transition, but we're making it. I think we've been at the new daycare for about 2 months now. Okay. So yeah, we're doing good. But I tell you what, if his current daycare did what these daycare workers did. Where was it? I'm trying to remember what state it was in. And they scared them babies for Halloween.
I heard about that.
Did you hear about that? 5 of
Yes.
them chicks. Wait a minute, I wrote down the charges. Hold on.
Wait a minute.
5 women.
They scared the babies.
They put on the mask, like the Halloween mask, and they terrorized these babies. I mean, you can see them on video crying, just completely done.
Wow.
And they've been charged with felony child abuse.
Was it that they weren't
They
thinking?
be charging me.
Was it that they weren't thinking?
Clearly.
Yeah.
This is the problem with Halloween. You know, leave it for the adults to do the scary thing. You know, for the kids, you know, I'm not a fan of Halloween. But if you're going to do it, let the kids put their little cute costumes on and all of that. We don't need to do the scaring thing for the kids. Leave that for the adults.
Yeah, I just remember Halloween growing up when we did celebrate it. You know, I remember I wore a Smurfs costume. I was a clown one year.
Mm-hmm.
I dressed like Batman. Like what? Why do we got to scare the babies? We don't have to scare the babies.
Because aren't some of these people also going as Dahmer this year?
Yes, I saw that. That people are dressing like Jeffrey Dahmer.
Y'all.
A part of. I mean, come on, y'all.
Y'all. What is wrong? Okay.
We're a sick society.
What is going on? Y'all
sick.
gonna scare these pokeheads, and then y'all got the nerve to.
But you know what though? I'm gonna be honest. I think that people lose all sensibilities. So if you guys know anything about Ohio University is in Athens, Ohio, and one of the things that they are known for is they are known for the big Halloween parade that they have either on Halloween or another day in it. And so one year when I was in college, I want to say it was my senior year, or maybe my junior year. One of my friends, he actually was in grad school at Ohio University, and we decided that we were going to go visit him for Halloween. And this is going to tell you how old I am. The main costume that year, there was two. One was Bill Clinton and a cigar, and one was Monica Lewinsky and a blue dress. But let me tell you something, y'all. The blue dress had a stain on it, and this was the Halloween costume. So Halloween just pulls the worst out in people.
The worst.
Like seriously, these dudes were walking around with a mask on. It was Bill Clinton and a cigar. And if y'all know anything, I'm not even gonna get into it, but y'all got it during that time.
Let's move forward.
But it was a stained blue dress. The girls were walking around with these stained blue dresses, and I think there was a hat, a particular type of hat that she wore, like a beret or something. And they were rocking it in this parade. So I mean, I'm not surprised at the Jeffrey Dahmer thing. Like people just lose their all sensibilities, and they're probably going to wear the orange jumpsuit, and they're going to be walking around with a turkey bone.
Because because stuff happens like every year, like some major thing
People don't think. They don't think about the fact that there were over 16 to 17 families that didn't even get to say goodbye to their kids.
It's called desensitization. They're desensitized. Desensitized.
Yeah.
No relation. There's no connection. The moral character, the feeling of loss, the feeling of concern, of sympathy, empathy is just
out the window.
Lost.
Out the window.
It's lost.
And I'm sorry, y'all. If a holiday, I think that's where you need to start with this holiday. Like if a holiday does that, it makes you lose sight of just your fellow man and your humanity and all that sort of thing. The holiday, I use that term loosely, is, I mean, it's about debauchery and just bedlam. And I mean, that's a problem. Like right there, that should tell you people talk about Christianity and all this other stuff, and they talk about how sometimes we as Christians, like for instance, they want to talk about how Christmas was a pagan holiday, which the reason why it is on the 25th started as the pagan holiday, but I always liken it to what devil meant for evil, God meant for good, and God kind of turned that thing around, and we have Christmas as to what it is today. But Halloween always started as something just evil.
Just evil.
And it was always meant to be
From
evil.
inception. Yeah.
Which was why November 1st was declared All Saints Day, because they were like, we got to clean up all these bad spirits that have been. I mean, come on, y'all, we got to pay attention to that. So if you're, I mean, our church is going to do the trunk or treat, like the Harvest Fest, because we're trying to turn that thing around. But yeah, I think Jeffrey Dahmer. I mean, that's not tasteful. That's
crazy.
No,
that's crazy.
It's not tasteful.
Indeed. So speaking of crazy, some people are just not going to be. They're just not going to be caught slipping, and they're going to go down. They're not going to go down without a fight. And so this woman has decided that she's getting evicted, and she says she's not going down without a fight. My girl unleashed bees on the law, y'all. Bees.
Like bzz, 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 like sting you bee.
She not a gun, not a knife, not a rope. No, bees.
That takes squatting to a whole new level.
What'd you say?
That takes squatting to a whole new level.
Got I said that's a unique weapon, choice of weapon.
So, I mean, what happened? Like, did they delay the eviction?
No, she got evicted and arrested.
Well, at least she got a place to stay.
I'm sorry. Wait. Time out.
You know what? Somebody, you know what? We can't boot Dr. Mike from his own show, can we?
We can't. We should have.
You know what? Let me go ahead and take myself off.
Well, you know what? To Dr. Mike's point, she did establish she was able to achieve a goal, and she had a place to stay. Oh my goodness!
Dr. Mike, you were talking about.
Last thing before we go to break. All right, so poor thing. I mean, I hope she gets that resolved. Like where was this at? Like, do we even know
Massachusetts?
Massachusetts. They was going. They're now all over the country.
I'm no longer surprised.
And then Christy, I think we got one more thing about that. The middle schooler.
One more story. So there was a little girl, and let me see. I keep on forgetting these states where this is happening. But there was this middle schooler, who went into her grandmother's safe and stole $13,000 in cash. Okay. Now, of course, that's horrible, terrible. But my girl went to school and started passing the money out to the students at the school. So when the school found out what was going on, of course, they were able to identify, they found out that the girl had stolen the money from the grandmother. So now they've made contact with all of the students' parents at the school, asking the parents to have the children return the money. Well, out of $13,000 that she stole and gave away, they only got $700 back.
I mean, would you give it back?
Yes, I would. If my son came home with $200, if I knew about it, of course. And I would ask, they said, did anybody give you money, or whatever? Well, I would see if he bought something. Something would give me a clue that he had some money. If I knew that, I would absolutely give it back. Absolutely. But
first of all, can we start at the fact that she had $13,000 in the safe at home like that?
Well,
I was gonna be like, who said it first? Because
I mean that 13,000.
That in itself.
Not wise.
Can you imagine the butt whipping?
This is in Georgia, by the way, Georgia.
Oh, she got a butt whipping after this one.
Yeah,
because they still leave martial law down there. So yeah, can you just imagine like $13,000 and you just pack? How does she do? First of all, so many questions here. So did she put it in her backpack? Did she put it in her lunchbox? Like, how did she get it out the house?
Do we label? Like, okay, so there's so much to unpack.
Were these singles? Were these 20s? Were they 50s? Like what? 13,000?
There's so much to unpack. And my first thought is, do we label this a good deed? Like, because she did something good with it. Like, do we label it a good deed? Like,
was she trying to buy friendships? Like, literally.
That's another thing.
That could be it, because middle school, I hated middle school. Like, so
yeah, it was rough.
Would be a little rough.
Middle
so maybe
rough.
she was trying to get some friends. Like, I don't know.
How did she know grandma's code to the safe? How did she find that out? Did grandma tell her she had 13,000 land in there? Like, what did she expect opening the safe?
Yeah, I have a lot of questions.
Where did the students spend this money?
See, you got some homework to do. I need you before you come back next show. I need you to
I gotta find all this out. Okay, I
gotta unpack.
Mike,
yeah,
send me to Georgia. Dr. Mike, send me to Georgia on this investigative story, and I got you.
This is a CNN required case, because there's so much to unpack.
Well, you know what we could. You know what though? We could get Herschel Walker to go ahead and investigate it for us.
Focused on photo, versed in video, For Any Media brings visions to life, from headshots to family shoots, casual candids to structured scenes. Our team can provide whatever you need. In Baltimore, you may have seen us at local events such as the Poly City Tailgate or the Randallstown Romp. You can find us on all social media platforms at the number 4 Any Media. For Any Media, for anything. Contact us so we can create.
Thank you,
Dr. Mike. You going to jail?
Yes,
Dr. Mike. You going to jail?
We have officially banned Dr. Mike from his own show. Mitchell and Christy will be taking over.
He's no longer in Headspace.
It will just be called Headspace.
It will just be Headspace, because Dr. Mike, you're not coming back.
Yes. So Mitchell, this is it. We're gonna just make this work because Mike is out.
He's banned.
He's banned. So we're gonna move forward with the show. I believe we're gonna do the head-to-head. You know what? I can't even get past him.
I can't. You in timeout. Next episode, it's just me and Christy. You going to jail. And then Christy, he knew what he was doing because he went straight to break.
Exactly.
Like he knew what he was doing. Okay.
Calculated.
Let's get this head to head together.
Yes. This show's almost over. Thank
we get cut off. Mess around and get canceled. Okay. So
go on, Dr. Mike. What do you have to say for yourself?
I'm trying to save money.
All right, y'all.
We already had boots on the ground. We have boots on the ground.
It's 4th Saturday, and this is our head-to-head show. So we're gonna do a little bit of a seasonal head-to-head and have some discussions about certain foods and things that happen around this time of the year that people love or hate. It's one or the other, right? So one topic in my household is the topic of candy corn. Okay, my husband loves candy corn, candy pumpkins, anything they candying, he loves them. My opinion, candy corn is absolute trash. It is sugared plastic, and it should have no place in this world. What do you think?
It tastes like a paper plate.
Not a paper. So, Mitchell, how do we know what a paper plate tastes like, though?
So, I was a weird little kid. At about 5 years old, I just wondered. I was eating something on it, and I wondered. So I ripped a little piece off and tasted it, spit it out, but tasted it. Lord, please don't let anybody in my family see this episode now. Got it. And I tasted candy corn, and this how I know I didn't like it, because I had a flashback to that moment. So it tastes like I'm sorry. I could not get. I just can't. Why?
No need to apologize. Yeah, I'm not a fan of candy corn. I feel like it just has no taste. Like it definitely doesn't taste like corn.
I remember there was a meme that said if you like candy corn, then you're a psychopath. I married a psychopath.
I seen this one meme. I think it was on Twitter. Go figure. They said how to eat candy corn. Open the bag, dump it in the trash can, eat a Reese's peanut butter cup.
Accurate. I was
so true, but it was.
I agree with that.
Yeah,
right,
so we agree that candy corn is trash. We may have people on watching the show that completely disagree, but
so is it nostalgic for Rob? Like, is it like one of those things where like it just brings back good memories?
It's that, and he actually likes the taste.
Okay, well,
yeah, it's just it's absolutely weird, disgusting.
Oh, all right. Give us another one.
Okay, I think the other one we were debating was the apple cider, hot or cold. Is that what?
Oh yeah, do you like your apple cider hot or cold? What's your preference?
I prefer it cold.
Okay.
I prefer it cold.
Do you like it hot?
I think, huh?
Do you like it hot?
I'll drink it hot, but the only beverages I enjoy hot are tea and coffee. Other than that, I prefer. My sister is watching the show, and she just texted me saying that she loves candy corn, and now I'm wondering if she's actually biologically my sister.
You got some praying to do.
Hot or cold apple cider, Mitchell?
I like mine's hot. I think it's a good thing to have it hot. See? I like it hot because to me, like fall is that season where it's fairly cold outside, especially this fall. I don't know what the Lord is doing, but he freezing something because it's cold. It's a little nip out here. So especially with like seasons like this, I like it hot. And I think it's a treat to be in this kind of weather and drink it hot, sit in front of if you have a scenic backyard like mine, like my backyard looks really, really pretty right now because it's got all kind of color trees and stuff. And just enjoy the moment. Some jazz if you like it. Enjoy the moment.
Well, okay. Yeah, I prefer it cold. But I can do it hot. Like I can have it like it's hot. So I am not a huge tea drinker, and I'm not a like coffee. I'm one of those that likes some coffee with my sugar and cream. So you're right. So if I'm gonna try to look sophisticated and drink something hot, I'll do apple cider.
Okay.
I know because drinking something hot, you gotta clasp the cup with both hands and
yeah. If I want to do that, I gotta have the look.
You gotta go for the look.
All right. So the final one is this pumpkin flavored.
No.
Speaking of coffee, they got pumpkin flavored creamer. You can put in your coffee, pumpkin flavored cereal. I mean, I've seen pumpkin flavored soap. I mean, it's ridiculous. So it looks like we're all in agreement about the pumpkin flavor. I don't do pumpkin anything. I only like to look at pumpkins for decoration. That's it. Other than that,
pumpkin spice season at Starbucks only just means to me that A, it's cold, and B, peppermint mocha seasons afterward. So I'll do the peppermint mocha thing. So like hurry up, get out the way, pumpkin spice, because I want peppermint mocha.
I think we know what Mitchell thinks. That's a resounding no. Yeah, I'm a skip. I'm good on the pumpkin. Y'all can have it. Y'all can have my portion. Okay.
Yeah, y'all can have my portion as well.
Yeah, y'all can have mine.
Well, that was we don't have nobody participating in our comments. I hope the comments are working.
They're like in and out because if I go on Facebook, I see people commenting, but it's not showing up on our
it's not showing up on our thing. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Kevin said yes to pumpkin flavored coffee.
You like pumpkin flavored coffee?
Kevin do.
Kevin said yes.
Kevin, okay. Because
I can't stand pumpkin spice. I can't stand it. I can't stand pumpkin anything. This is the one part about fall I hate is that it's that pumpkin. No.
Well, let's go ahead and get ourselves wrapped up.
Follow the Headspace with Dr. Mike show on all social media platforms at Headspace DM. We want to keep you up to date on all of our hot topics and keep the dialogue going even after the show.
We also value what's important to you and your community. DM your show ideas to us on Instagram or Facebook. The next time you log on, you may hear Dr. Mike discussing the very topic or issue close to your heart.
Well, what a great show, everybody. It was awesome. Thank you, as always, for hanging out with us. We had a lot to discuss, and you guys really bring the bad out in me, so I hope you guys go back and talk to the Lord about what you're doing to me, and that you come back with better attitudes next week, because I'm just very disappointed. Yep, Mason, that's right. He giggled about that.
but it's the little side eye he's giving though. That's my whole issue. Like he was like, yeah, you probably right.
He looked at you like that, Kristen. He said, yeah, mommy, I'm gonna need you to get it.
You know what? On that note, everybody have a wonderful weekend.
Have a blessed one.
God bless.
What Bishop say? God has in you.
Walk
Please
with
pray
the King.
for Mitchell and Christy, because they have some things to get done in their lives this week. Love you all. Peace.
Love ya.
Thanks for tuning in to Headspace with Dr. Mike. We hope you enjoyed the show. Be sure to follow us on social media at Headspace DM to continue the dialogue with other Headspacers regarding today's show. Everyone is filling their headspace with something. The question is, what are you filling yours with? Tune in next week.